Thanks for tuning in to another show in the Next Reel family of film podcasts.
Want to skip those ads and get early access?
Become a member at truestory.fm/join and discover all the other great perks that come with it.
Giovanni Brajulin's painting The Crying Boy, the 4th century gold ring of Sylvanus, the Bassano vase, the Busby stoop chair. All of these objects have something in common. They are, or were at one time, widely believed to be cursed or haunted, and the people that owned them paid the price. When we talk about haunts, we usually talk about haunted places. The Amityville house in Long Island, the Winchester house in San Jose, the Myrtles plantation in St. Francisville. But as that old sourpuss Emily Dickinson once wrote, one not need be a chamber to be haunted. So instead of places, what about stuff? The things and objects out in the world that are waiting to be found in dusty closets or uncovered in forgotten flea markets and reawakened. As someone once said, an antique is just a ghost with a price tag. What? For this harrowing episode of Sitting in the Dark, I, Tommy Metz III, the king of diminishing returns, present Thunderstrike. Articles of Loathing. And yes, Pete, I demand that you put in a Thunderstrike right there. I'm going to make as much work for you as possible. Joining me, as always, on this episode is the Podfather himself, Pete Wright. Say hi, Pete.
Hi, Pete.
The director extraordinaire, Chelsea Stardust. Say hello, Chels.
Hello, Chels.
And the Professor of Pain, Keenan Diaz. Okay, we are all here today, and the 3 films for Articles of Loathing we will be discussing are The Ring, directed by Gore Verbinski, Oculus, directed by Mike Flanagan, and Undertone, directed by Ian, let's go with Toussaint. Okay, Before we begin, I would like to point out what I think are also, in addition to the haunted objects in each of these movies, there are other big themes that all 3 of them share, and I'm interested in maybe why. Number 1, the breakdown of the illusion of safety associated with traditional family structure, i.e. neglectful parents or children and the ramifications of those involved. Number 2, mystery. In all 3 movies, you learn more and more about the backstories of the haunted objects and who made them, but at some point you just hit a dead end as a viewer, and we're just left with ambiguity. For instance, where did Samara actually come from? When did the mirror become evil? And who sent the audio files? These questions are never fully answered. It's up to us. And then number 3, dread. Each of these stories has a timeline built into it, which seems somewhat arbitrary, except that it's like the entity or object wants you to know that death is coming and drag it out. It feels like the power invested is so strong, it could maybe kill you or cause you to kill yourself outright, but instead, it wants you to wait 7 days or listen to all 10 files or revisit all of the haunts of your family's past before pouncing on you like a cat playing with its prey. Hi, guys. Welcome to Articles of Loathing. I'm done talking at you. Now we'll have a podcast. Okay.
Hey. Hello,
Yeah.
podcast. Very excited about this.
I thought we would do them in order, and so we will start with 2002's The Ring, directed by Gore Verbinski. This is the horror of VHS tapes and landlines. A lady with a son, a terrible mother with a son, comes upon a haunted VHS tape wherein it's cursed, and wherein you watch it, you will die in 7 days unless you figure out the puzzle. And that's it. So, had everyone seen this? This was the one that was sort of like right up Main Street. Had everyone seen this before?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Let's start with Axes to Grind. Anything that you guys want to get off your chest? Nothing?
No.
Cool. What do you guys
good. Ring
What do
good.
you guys think about this movie? Ring good. This is one of my favorite horror movies, personally, and I think it does a better job. For me, it's probably just because the cultural difference than Ringu does. It's more effective for me because I can't get into some of the themes and stuff of Ringu. One thing that I wanted to say, have you guys ever seen it on DVD?
That's what I have.
That's all.
You do, so you know about the Easter egg on the DVD.
Yes.
Wait,
If
what's
you
the
haven't
Easter egg?
seen it,
I don't have
If
it.
you go to the DVD menu screen and you put your cursor up, the cursor disappears And then if you press play, it shows you the full The Ring haunted
Ring.
video.
Oh.
And then it goes back to the title screen. And after a couple seconds, it plays the sound of a phone ringing.
Outstanding.
As if
So
as if
good.
you're being called. None of that is things that work now, but it's still
Right.
really, really cool. Yeah.
It
So
was what
both-
DVD was made for. Yes.
So
Yes.
both of you
I
guys
miss
are
physical
dead
media.
because, and you're just
in
appearing
7 days. Yeah.
in 7
Correct.
days. Yeah. Okay.
I just watch it every 6 days, so it just sort of keeps like pushing. Yeah, let's see. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is, what do you guys think about the title? I feel like there's a
it's
bunch
terrible.
of different...
That's my axe. Oh, that is 100% my axe. You guys, there's no ring in this movie.
What?
It's
there's
just the
so many
phone
rings.
rings, and there's kind of a visual circle, but I want a haunted damn ring, and I did not get it.
What?
There's no... The ring is not the haunt. It's the VHS tape, you weirdo.
Right?
Yeah, it's the image
That's what
from
I
the
mean.
bottom
Why
of
isn't
the
it
well,
called the tape?
the telephone? That's a
Okay,
terrible-
but you mentioned 2 reasons why it's called the ring.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
the visual ring that you find out in the climax is from the bottom of the well, which is
Right.
a fantastic reveal. I love that.
Yeah.
The title of it, and then it's the ring because the way out of it is to continue on the ring by giving it to the next
Right, the
person.
cycle of
Yeah.
copy, repeat, copy, repeat.
I
Keeps
love
shaking
that
his
you're
head.
defending this, Keenan. But
He's
if
shaking
anyone
his head.
knows anything about me, it's I'm a notoriously dickish literalist, and I wanted a haunted
Oh, man.
ring.
I can't wait till we get to Oculus. Okay. You talked about the revelation of the ring, of that's what
Right.
the circle of light is from the bottom of the well.
Mhm.
One of the things that I think makes this movie so incredibly, for me, captivating and works so well is it is a horror movie, but it's also a detective story. Like it is,
Yes.
she is a really good investigative journalist. I forgot how she got to like Moesco Island, and it's the bending of the thing and the lighthouse, and you have to go to a library. Like I forgot how many steps she has to go through. I think that's really effective instead of just
Yeah.
like being locked in a cabin or something like that.
And I
It
will
takes
say,
place
like,
in a lot of different places. Please.
for anyone who's read the book, which I read very recently, and the author just passed away, I think
Mm.
this year.
I didn't know it was a book. My
Yeah.
apologies.
Yeah, so it's 3 books, series of books, and
Okay.
the when my book club read it, none of us had read it before, and the core of the story is a someone solving this mystery of Sadako is her name in the book, and he works for a newspaper, and he has I will say it's a great read, but it is very different. So
Okay.
I think like if someone had an axe to grind who loves the book watching this movie, but the book is the movie is dark, but the book also involves like a second protagonist who like says he's a rapist, and the main protagonist is like, yeah, but we're still friends. And then the things that happen to Sadako, yeah, it's wild, y'all. We had a really good discussion. What happened to Sadako is like really, really sad and very is trigger warning, and there's a reveal about her, which I don't want to say if you haven't read the book.
Mhm.
I highly just go read the book. Like,
Wow.
I highly
okay.
recommend, because there will be things you'll go, oh my God, what? Like there's some crazy turns that happen. But most of the book is a mystery, like solving this mystery, and how these sort of people who are affected by the tape at the beginning of the book are all kind of connected in a weird way. And highly recommend reading the book. But I do think The Ring is perfect and a great way to adapt the book from
Sure.
Ringu, like
Yeah.
what Gore Verbinski did. And it's PG-13, which I think is amazing.
Yeah,
That's
right?
right.
What-
I always forget that. Yeah.
Right. One of the highest grossing horror remakes ever, and they let teenagers in. I think those things are connected.
I'm surprised that jump scare with her in the closet isn't enough to push it to
Yeah.
R.
I know.
But maybe it's just because I urinate a little bit more each time I see it. I'm never quite ready for it. And I've seen this movie so many times that I'm never quite ready for it.
Structurally, I
Do,
think it works really, really well
yeah.
because it's a procedural. right?
Mhm.
Fundamentally, it's a procedural. It keeps sort of indicting other characters as they are absorbed into the process of the ring. And like, for example, Martin Henderson like ends up being he's kind of a utility player until he ends up having to carry the emotional weight of the end of the film. And you know, even though he's kind of written as a deadbeat with a loft, like we end up with a character with a lot more going on. And he's not even in the movie until, you know, halfway through. Like I think it's structurally, it's just really smart, and it shows that the mechanic of the procedural is very effective for this kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think the procedural structure helps a lot because some of the imagery is so strange and striking. I mean, obviously from the haunted videotape itself, but then, you know, them encountering some of that stuff in real life. And because Naomi Watts is trying to solve this, it makes you believe, probably more than it has any right to, that the imagery means something. I mean, so it's just horses drowning in themselves. It's just so catching, and but like, oh God, that must be connected to this, and I find this over here, and I find that over there. And I think if you were to really actually like look at it all, it's the equivalent of what we have, say, in like Oculus, of just sort of like, you know, episodic images, you know, but in the ring, it makes, oh my God, this is some mystery we're solving all together, but none of it's really about horses or weeping willows or whatever.
And the ladder in the alley is a coincidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's just a lot of visual coincidences that we are meant to believe are of great import. I think that's funny.
Well, yeah, but then you do end up finding the ladder.
Yeah, the real ladder, which is not a coincidence. It's just like you find her walking along, and that old guy's like, "Be careful, you don't want to walk under that." You know, like, come on, go eat a cigar.
What do you guys think of, because I brought up the idea of neglectful or terrible parenting? That's throughout this movie. You know, Samara's family is obviously a little problematic. Rachel kind of sucks. I mean, the first time we ever see her, she's swearing in front of the teacher, and she's late for her kid. Their dad is too busy to be in their lives. Rachel goes outside at that one point and sees, when I think Aiden is watching the tape, she goes outside and she sees a tired mom out on that balcony sneaking a smoke while the kid is inside watching TV. Like, there's a lot of like TV as emotional babysitter. And then Noah, I had completely forgotten about this. Noah describes how disappointed he was in his father. And then the last thing is when she goes to the island doctor says, parenting, quote, takes work, you know. Some people have limits. And we're watching an entire cinematic world of people who found their limits off screen. Like, before we got them, they reached their limit pretty much. Why do you think that is so important to the story? Other than maybe the basic idea of, if we're talking about the ring, the cycle of generational trauma, it could maybe just be that. I just thought of that. But
well, it could be, but there's also this, you know, as I don't know. I mean, I look at this movie and I look at all of the parenting structures and realize that what the ring is, the video is literally, you know, again, indicting to me as a parent, is like the poison of the child's brain that is the generational neglect that comes from being a parent, and from being a kid who was a latchkey kid, right? Like that's sort of how we grew up, which was we came home and nobody was around, and we went in and we watched TV, and it was like He-Man and Thundercats, and they might as well have been the ring. And so I think so much of this movie is reminding me of the power and the import of engagement, direct engagement with our kids, because it does become a sort of generational poison in the eyes of the film. To me, that kind of jumps out.
Sure. That makes a lot of sense, especially because Aiden is, he's just taking care of himself.
He's just taking care of himself. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't tie a tie. And he ties a tie right before the funeral. This kid has got it going on.
He picks out his mother's dress. Like,
a lot of parental trauma in all three of these movies. All three of these things. And also harkens back to the book and the movie of Sadako Samara's mom commits suicide. And so, like, that character dealing with that, and problematic parents. Again, why these three movies work so well together?
I think with the videotape, which is interesting. I mean, like that was videotapes could be illicit, in the 90s in a way that I don't know if young people today have that kind of thing where, like we're talking about haunted objects, where you could have terrible files or something or text you don't want your parents to see, but it's a little bit different. This is closer to like the idea of some demon in a fetish statue or something, in some ancient religion, some artifact where these people, these little teenage girls at the beginning, they've passed this tape along to each other, right? And it's something they could hide from their parents and keep hidden in a way that you can't quite do anymore. It just works differently.
God,
it's in the cloud.
Yeah, it's in the cloud. You're right. But it's so interesting. When I was a kid, the Ring for us in my social group that we were literally duplicating was the first Faces of Death movie.
Oh,
right?
Goodness, yes.
That was our Ring, right? It's just a horrible thing that poisons your brain, and we are worse humans as a result of it. That's what this movie's about. Congratulations.
Well, for my friends, it was Showgirls, which was not as sexy or whatever as that it should have been, and then when they grew up, apparently it's a masterpiece according to French critics.
Right.
Oh my God, Keenan,
put ice
that
on your
says
nipples.
everything.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
You brought up Chelsea. You brought up again Samara's mysterious origin. How are you? This is the Kyle Olsen segment. Kyle famously, before he had to leave the podcast, he and I would butt heads sometimes about ambiguity. He felt that it was a cheat and that the author was just not doing the author's job. Whereas and so that's why the Mothman Prophecies went down in history as one of the most divisive films. We'll see how Undertone does. But yeah, so I love ambiguity. And I like that throughout this movie, this mysterious origin, at one point, Noah says a videotape without a time code, that's like being born without a belly button. We know that she was adopted, but we don't really know from where or from whom. And when the doctor is asking Samara's where the pictures she projects come from, she says they just are. It's almost like Samara is such a force of nature that she just appeared, because we never find out. There is a birth certificate. There's a really quick shot of a birth certificate, but we're not given the information that we desperately want. It's just sort of her name, right?
And it's an interesting choice in the movie, because in the book they tell you like where she comes from and her mother.
Really?
And so it's in the book of like, she's the basically the result of an affair that her mother had with a doctor, and was sort of hidden away, and then her mother eventually jumps into a volcano and kills herself. And but
classic.
it's sort of like this classic. But there's a lot of like shame around it, and all of that. I wanted to hiding the affair. So the book does tell you. And then of the video, it's sort of like her, which they do this in the movie, but yeah, they just are. It's sort of like she's able to project what's in her mind and in her trauma onto film, because it just happened to be now I may be mixing the book with the movie, but the well just happened to be below the cabin where the kids had the movie, and it got taped over a sports event. It's real wild. They tell you in the book, but you're like, huh? Sure. But having such like maybe rage and feminine rage and power, and you're able to just do this and then make everyone suffer. Like, you get a taste of this because I don't want to live with the pain alone. I want to project it onto all of you.
Well, that's such an interesting thing, because like how much evil. Yeah, especially when you talk about ambiguity, like the degree to which you are interested in knowing where the tape came from is an interesting one. And I never found myself asking how the tape started, which I think is sleight of hand, because I should care about that. And I never did, not once. I was just totally into the fact that it's perpetuated and it's infinite and timeless.
I love that though.
Yeah.
I love not like, I didn't either at first, like when I didn't think about it until I actually read the book and they kind of explain it more, but I love that it just sort of exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah,
haunted, where did it come from?
Right.
Maybe I don't want to know. Ambiguity. Yeah.
Where will it go
awesome.
next?
There's so much
Yeah.
explanation in The Ring 2, which is
Mm-mm.
very frustratingly spelled out TWO instead of just
no.
a number.
I'm out.
All they do is explain everything and show
Yeah.
and people people explaining scientific that they shouldn't have any access to, and there's like, oh, it's from this, but you're just a priest in this small town. There's no reason for you knowing this stuff. So yeah, if you really want those, if Kyle writes in and he wants to know
we'll just send him that
the
way.
Ring too. Yeah.
Speaking of the origin of the tape, Pete, if you don't mind going to Ring 2, not the movie, but the picture. This is the still, again, taken horribly of just my television, my apologies. But I just wanted to point out one of the things that I love the most about this movie is there's so much Ring imagery and ideas. Is it's almost like it's always there. Look at what some of the other movies are. We have the Looking Glass War. Looking Glass is a mirror. Mirror is important. Open water experience. Garden pond basics. And then my favorite, family plot. What is Ring other than just a family plot that just goes to family to family to family? Just as far as we're doing other imagery, Pete, if you can go to Ring
Sodom
3.
and Gomorrah. I'm sorry.
Sodom and Gomorrah's up there too. Yeah.
Spontaneous combustion.
I know.
What's the concept of?
All right. What did you want?
Ring 3, it's just funny, of course, that's the card that she pretends. It's a 7.
Yeah.
Everything is constantly moving in these kind of circles. My favorite Ring, there's a lot of Ring imagery throughout. Some he doesn't take as much advantage of, Gore Verbinski, that I wish he would, but maybe it'd be too heavy-handed. But these are two, like the kid that just repeats, the kid that's on the island with the doctor, and he's just pushing himself around in that circle, whatever those things are called. There's a lot of stuff like that. My two favorites are not hard to find. These are just my favorites. Ring 1, of course, before the movie even begins.
Yeah.
That's
I love that
the poor DreamWorks kid.
The poor DreamWorks kid sitting on the ring moon. And then Ring 2, this is the ECU of the horse.
You mean Ring 4?
Ring 4, thank you very much. Oh, I have mine out of order too. Yeah, that's before the horse biffs off of the side of the boat. And then did you guys, I assume you saw it, but did you see the subliminal ring in between at the end of the boat to the next thing? Yeah. That's cool.
Love it.
I love how everything is just constantly connected. It feels like because there's that ghostly thing that people see, that just sort of like wavy thing that goes by a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I understand it because if we're talking about she's able to invisibly project almost like electricity and burn images onto things, that something like that would exist. Another thing that I embarrassingly just put together this last time watching it, and it's probably very obvious, was the effect of how once you have seen it, you're always blurry in all photos and representations. We do see that actually in the movie, is when you see the flashback of Samara being thrown down the well, there is a POV from her falling into the water. If you just go to Ring 5, Pete, this is the last thing you see. So the waviness is what would be distorted in a reflection of water, or if you were underwater. I think that's what they're trying to get, that Samara's trying to get across by messing you up in photos, which is just really cool. I mean, it's deeper. It's even deeper than I thought, I've thought before. It's made for rewatching and rewatching.
It's like a well.
Some would say it's like a well. And then, of course, the twist. I mean, this movie, he plays, there's two things. One of my favorite things is that he starts it and you put you in such safe, familiar trope of two teenage girls alone in a dark, weird house, and then subverts the heck out of it. And then he goes as far as to, the music is cheesy. She's got the blanket, the rough blanket, and she's probably got like some sort of cup of water or coffee. I mean, this movie is over. And then what does Aiden say? You helped her. Why did you do that? I mean, the movie is just still going. I mean, that's incredible. And then, the question that he asked, how this movie ends, what he asks his mother is, she says, you're going to be okay. What about the person we show it to? What happens to them? And she doesn't answer. I think she turns to the camera and goes, directed by Gore Verbinski. And we're just like, no. Because it's a really devastating ending. It's a real bummer.
I imagine you love it, right?
Yeah.
For ambigity's sake. Anybody have problems with it? Just like it's
which part?
The fact that the movie doesn't even endeavor to answer that question, or is the fact that the movie doesn't try to answer that question the point for you guys?
I think it's a definite answer that the next person will be haunted by this, and it's just that she doesn't want to think about that. All she can think about is saving her child, and she has been through this arc of being a pretty terrible mother. She reverts in Ring 2 and leaves him in the bathtub to drown and all sorts of nonsense. But in this one, she is a pretty terrible mother. She's not paying attention to her son. She's letting him get in this trouble, and then she sees what Samara's parents have done, which makes them also terrible parents, and then she learns that it was okay because Samara is an evil demon person, and she gets rid of all of her guilt. She gets washed that out because it turns out that sometimes parents make mistakes, and she's like, okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and do this. And it doesn't have the this time watching it, I was thinking of It Follows, where we are told the rules of what will happen in this ring, this chain letter thing, and that this doesn't have that at all, and because they're not concerned with it. I think there should be no sequel to this movie. It's we save the son and that's it. Screw everybody else.
Yeah. Well, and I think
she is stepping up and becoming fiercely maternal finally at the end. She's just sticking up for hers, and that's and the cancer will spread, just like what's his name, the dad says. What does he say about reporters? You take one person's tragedy and force the world to experience it, spread it like sickness. Yeah. Sorry, Pete.
Well, that's what I mean. I think part of in reading up on the film, some of the criticism of the film is that the movie presents this huge moral sort of ethical conundrum at the end, and hasn't made any sort of an effort to answer that question, what happens next. But I think Keenan's where I land, like the fact that they didn't answer the question is the answer to the question. It's like, the next people are the same thing is going to happen to the next people that happened to us, and we dodged a bullet, and I hope they can figure out how to dodge a bullet too.
But not trying too hard, not looking over our shoulders too hard.
Right.
And I think there's no question, like, what you would do to save your kid. It's like, of course, you wouldn't think twice about it. And so, but someone should just put a little like note on that tape, just saying like, hey, here's what to do. Just like a little
copy
help,
first.
Note,
Right.
Help people along.
Have a second VCR ready.
I like the ambiguity I do like is whether they really understand the rules correctly, because the ending is like this series of like, oh gosh, I didn't understand the rules. And so like she's made a copy for Noah, her ex, and then she needs Aiden to make a copy. So she's like, but he needs to do it, is what she's convinced has to happen. That she can't just make another copy for him or something like that. So it's like guiding him through that process of the two VCRs, et cetera. And it is kind of like hoping, fingers crossed,
that this counts.
That there's no manual, right? Yeah. Or does he have to do it himself? Does he have to like know what he's doing? Does he have to willingly pass this along or something and curse somebody else? But can you do it innocently?
She did it innocently. I mean, she just made a copy for Noah just to take a look at. Yeah. So that's a good sign for young.
And then he's in the ring too, and none of that matters. Don't worry about it. No.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, is it do any of these questions get answered? Is it should we just
the
pretend
bags under his eyes just get bigger and bigger and bigger? He becomes like the most haunted, tired child. It's not good.
It's so weird because I picked that movie as part of my next themed episode is the haunted tired boys in horror movies. So.
Okay. Anything else that you guys would like to bring up about The Ring before we move on?
I just want to take a moment to talk about DeVay Chase, who died, who played Samara, who died this year at 35, which is really sad.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was also Samantha Darko and Donnie Darko, if you watched that. So really kind of
Sparkle
tragic
Motion.
death.
Oh,
Sparkle
no.
Motion. So she passed away in
terrible.
June of this year. So very recently.
Oh, wow.
Very,
Super
very
sad.
sadly, yeah. She's Lilo, just to bum Tommy out more. She's Lilo in Lilo and Stitch.
Ugh. Come on, guys. What kind of podcast is this? You guys are going to make me bust out the Crypt Keeper.
And I just wanted to point out before we leave just how great it looks. I mean, just a fantastic look. I mean, kind of unconventional horror. I mean, it's relatively bright. I mean, you're outside a whole lot, but it just looks fantastic. Which again, they just abandoned in The Ring 2, which just looks like anything else.
It's so all the time Pacific Northwest overcast, which makes that tree just pops.
Love
that tree
it.
is insane.
Yeah.
It's like the only color in the entire movie. It's incredible.
What's interesting, though, I think that keying, that bright sort of backlight, environmental backlight, is very, very akin to Japanese horror, too. Like when they go outside, this has a look that feels cribbed from Ringu, right? From just the entire sort of style of 80s horror in Japan. Which I find really interesting. I think that keeps it sort of in the family.
Yeah, and I think with the look you're saying, that is something I feel like after this movie, the 2000s, early 2000s, later 2000s, people were really leading into this look on stuff.
Yeah.
But it works best in this movie.
Agreed. All right, then we are moving on to number 2 of our articles of loathing. Thunderstrike again, Pete. This is Oculus by Mike Flanagan. In 2013, this is the multi-generational tale of the cursed Lasser glass and its effect on the Russell family. Spoiler alert, it goes great! Was this the first time that any of you had seen this movie? This is probably my favorite Mike Flanagan non-series but movie. What did you guys think? I mean, this is Axis to Grind and overall thoughts. Pete, would you start? Do you mind?
Well, I loved it. I think the craft in this movie is outstanding. I mean, there are parts of me that just doesn't even remember what happened because I was so busy trying to track the editing job that Flanagan pulled off in this movie. It's just wonderful. It is a nightmare of cuts to keep things moving and flowing in the right direction. And I love it. The mirror, so my axe is the mirror itself, because the mirror can do anything it wants. And I think unlimited threats sort of start to diminish tension, right? It plays with perception and it plays with memory and physical sensation. I mean, we're chewing light bulbs and stuff. And those as those sort of mirror powers accumulate, I think the stakes start to thin out. But it didn't really matter because the fabric of the movie is in how these characters are moving around together in the house. And by the end, it's such an orchestra of movement that I'm still all in. And the mirror is like a secondary threat.
It's what, well, first I would like to point out, those that aren't watching the video, when you said people are chewing light bulbs and Chelsea did the happiest little wiggle like she just found a Christmas present under a tree. We know what Chelsea likes. Yeah, this is Flanagan doing one of the things he does best, telling a story non-linearly, flashing back and forth between time periods and then having them physically overlap. Like he does that so much in Haunting of Hill House and Fall of the House of Usher that someone will run out of a room past their adult self who's sort of reliving it. It's stuff like that. It costs zero money. And it's better than so many things, shooting them from above, of them moving the two cameras next to each other while rehabbing the argument that you just heard. That costs nothing. And it's so profoundly scary for me because of the idea of reality, not being able to trust what is real and what is not, has always been a through line for pretty much every movie I've ever picked for this thing. Especially that's what really grew me on Smile. When we did the Smile trilogy of sorts, is because you just can't trust anything. My favorite part of the movie, there's no gore, there's no effects. It's when they're outside after she kills her fiance, or does she, and they see themselves inside the room And he says it's a trick to get us back inside. And she says, what if this is a trick to keep us standing there? I can just end the movie there and be like, well, I'm just going to go have blood come out of my nose like Rachel when she picks the fly off the screen. Like, that's just, there's no winning. It's outstanding. I love it.
Yeah.
I was
Chelsea.
Yeah, I was trying to think. So I was at Blumhouse when we acquired this movie. And so I was there.
Cool.
Yeah. Because then Flanagan went on and did the Ouija sequel.
Yeah.
Which we've done.
Which is so good. It's so no. I mean, I worked on the first one. It's so much better than the first one.
Yes.
And I want to say, like, when I first saw this, full transparency, I was like, I like didn't. I was like, what? Tell me. I want to know. Is this real? Is this? I was like really annoyed. My axe was like, I was so fucking annoyed that just fucking commit. Like, tell me, are we in a real? What's real? What's not? And now, and this is, to be honest, the first time I've rewatched this movie since I worked there, since 2013, 2012, 2013. And I'm a big Mike Flanagan fan. And I got to say, I was wrong when I first watched it. And I love when I revisit something I was like lukewarm on. And now I was like, this movie's a fucking banger. Like, this movie is great. I can give him all let him direct more things. He hasn't directed enough, I don't think. So,
and he's
give
incredibly
him more
prolific. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And I think that what we were saying before, don't tell me. Like, don't let me as the viewer decide. I wanted that. And also I'm a savvier viewer now. I've made movies than when I first saw this. So, being had axes have been put to bed, and I just think it's just really great writing, on Mike and Jeff's part, and really expertly crafted. So I don't really, it could get tiring. How many, is it real? Is it not real? Is it real? Is it not real? If I have to get down to it, but I really like the ambiguity. I love the choice now as a viewer. It is so expertly done. Anyways.
Yeah, I have things. They're not quite axes, but I guess this is the section we should go over this. So two things, which is, I'm kind of maybe where Chelsea was a little bit, when she first saw it, where there's a part in the movie that, the movie wants you just for 5 minutes or so to consider whether Kaylee, Karen Gillan's character, is making this all up, and it's all in her head, and she's constructed this elaborate super ghost story history to protect her psyche, because it really was that her father killed her mother and forced her brother to kill him. And for me, right now, an initial viewing, that is more interesting to me than there's a haunted mirror out there. So that's not quite an axe. It's just like, that's just a different movie. And so I was just watching that. It's like, that's very interesting. And the fact that the mirror really was haunting didn't quite reach some new level for me. That's like, oh, okay, that's even better. And that kind of goes with the second thing, which is, I think if he were redoing this movie, he would do some of the stuff that he's learned doing The Haunting of Hill House, which is where every single thing that we see in the present day story will reveal how it was planted in the past, and so I was just kind of like, it's craving that, which is totally unfair, totally auteurist nonsense. But I was like, okay, this crack in the mirror, okay, we're going to see how that happened, and then in the present we're going to reveal something, and that's going to be the key to something, and it's just not there. And that's just, seeing what he does in Hill House, and this is some ghost, and then turned out it's not just some ghost, it's the ghost, and all that stuff that just elevates that. So totally unfair stuff. but those are the things that are kind of niggling at me. Not quite axes though.
Do you know, it's so funny, Keenan, though? I mean, I think I agree with you. I think part of the reason I like this movie so much is that there is a generous reading that says there's no mirror at all. This is two kids trying to relitigate a domestic abuse parentage kind of a story. And I find that really, the mirror obsession is just a way to get us into thinking about the fact that these parents were in an abusive relationship. And
I'd like to see that.
I think that's all buried in here.
Okay.
This movie shares with Undertone, which we will get to, the idea of there's another reading of if psychosis is involved.
Yeah.
Mm.
and time is stretchy, that there's a reading that has nothing supernatural. If you're allowed to have like hallucinations, auditory, anything like that, it's possible. It could have been they were just in this, because all of the, if you take the mirror out, like Keenan is saying, and I might just be literally repeating what he said, but it really does work horribly as a very upsetting, abusive
Yes.
husband story. The
Right.
mother gets jealous and the father just slowly, I mean, we've seen that in like home invasion movies. We've seen all of this stuff.
Yeah.
This one just has an anchor and a mirror in it. But I, of course, want the mirror. I want the backstory of all of the people, the lecture of the vampire where she goes through all the different people.
Which was great. I love that bit.
Yeah.
I love that bit.
I just remembered, because I was going to say, well, the thing that reminds me of that I was hoping this movie was more like the turn of the screw, and then I was like, oh wait, as you were saying it, that's the third season of The Haunting of Hill House, is the turn of the screw, and I haven't seen, so it's The Haunting of Bly Manor, so I haven't seen that, so I wonder if he approaches that more explicitly in this later.
One of the things that always worked for me about that helped me mitigate any frustration about the what's reality, what's not, is how incredibly competent our protagonists are. Yes, one is a skeptic, but not a skeptic like Evie is in Undertone. She's, he is just released from an asylum, Timbo, with really well-constructed critical thinking skills. Like he's coming at it really, really smartly. And Kaylee is incredibly competent and intelligent. She outthinks things. And so that's why the mirror messing with their reality works so well and is so upsetting. It's like, what? This isn't fair. They got all the stuff. Look at all these lamps. The lamp legend alone.
It's really true. Every one of these movies, they're all evidence professionals in their field, and they are destroyed by their own stuff.
Yeah. And like, what if it was just a bunch of dums like in later seasons of later sequels of Scream? Like just a bunch of knuckleheads running around. I wouldn't care anymore, because they wouldn't. They'd just be, all they'd be doing is splitting up. I have something, and I messed up the numbers for this, Pete, so I apologize. So we'll do this together. This is something that I found is at one point, young Tim, we're in a flashback, young Tim is watching cartoons, and then there's some visual static, and it turns off. I went frame by frame on it. And if you can go to, do you see the one that's like, it's a TV set and it's really blurry, Pete? I don't know.
Is there a face in it?
Yes, looking at us. Okay, that image comes up for one frame, and then it sort of like goes up, like the vertical hold doesn't work, and then it disappears. Do we have any thoughts about what that is? Because I do.
Tell us.
I think, Pete, go to the next one.
Are we sure it's the next one?
It's the mirror. I think it's
it looks like Karen Gillan.
But go back one. It's from the POV of the mirror.
The mirror.
If the mirror, because remember, Oculus means eye in Latin. So if you're looking, if this is either some sort of demonic force or if the mirror itself is alive, this is sort of what it would look like. And this is showing way back when Tim was a child, again, as if the fix was in from the start, as if they didn't have a chance. Another example of this is Pete, if you remember, young Tim shoots his father in the chest with the father's help, of course. What's the very first thing that the father sees in the mirror right when they move in? Go to Oculus One. Remember, he spilled his juice box on himself. That's before we've seen one ghost, and that's it. We've seen what's her name, Marisol Chavez, who's the one that died in 1975. That's the one is sort of seducing him. But look at that. That's in the very beginning. Nothing has even happened yet, as if the mirror has somehow planned all of this out.
Fascinating.
Which I just think is really, really interesting.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that is missing from this movie, but I think other people are probably glad it's not there, is I miss my Flanagan-logs. Mike Flanagan is the king of monologues, and I guess maybe there's more room for them in his limited series on Netflix and stuff, but I do miss those. I just want someone to just look at the camera and just talk for like 15 minutes straight, and then something comes out of their face, and you're like, why? Yeah. And I love that we go all the way back to, we find out why it's called the Lasser glass, but it just appears. It just is. Again, it's a videotape. It's a time code without a belly button. That's not how that phrase
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the Joker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly right. Yeah. It just appears and is just a force of nature.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the idea, the mirror idea is just to gaslight you in general. Like, I think that's what happens in mirror movies is to be gaslit and to be shown the wrong thing. How this movie does it is pretty incredible, because it's not just what we've seen before of looking in the mirror and seeing reflections that are wrong or any of those things. And it's using cinema. I mean, it's using like being on close-ups, like you say, and then revealing, or through the cuts, like Pete was talking about, the really heartbreaking stuff, like when they are smashing the mirror, and then we reveal that they think that they're doing it, but then they're not. That's really, really cool stuff that I haven't seen with the mirror before, and I don't know why this mirror is allowed to do that. Other mirror movies have much more confined rules, right? It's about like what you see through the mirror.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it's not based, but he directed a short film called Oculus Chapter 3 or something. I unfortunately haven't been able to find it, and that's because I forgot to look for it. It's probably just out there. But I'd be interested in seeing how he stretched the ideas. Apparently the one thing, because I try not to do a lot of like behind the scenes reading of movies when I do these, but I did read one thing where he was worried that he had done everything in the short and he didn't have enough stuff for a full feature. And that's when they came up with the idea of the 2 timelines. Originally it was just going to be, I don't know if it was just the family or the kids, but the idea of those 2 timelines, it just feels so funny to think of Mike Flanagan not thinking of that, because that's like his big thing.
Yeah. It's like the only thing. Right.
Maybe this was the genesis of it. I mean, because like his earlier ones, Hush, like other ones don't have that. Maybe this just opened up an entire world, and he's like, oh, what's more fascinating than the past affecting the future, affecting the past? I mean, it's just, it's breathtakingly done. And then to do it so much in camera is really exciting. Any last things?
I got nothing.
Good?
I feel good.
Great.
Oh, by the way, the other thing that I like about Oculus is that it has the biggest bummer of an ending since Frank Darabont's The Mist. And Mike Flanagan is remaking The Mist. So we're going to see what he does to that. He is.
Do we need a Mike Flanagan The Mist? Darabont was so good.
If someone's going to do it, he can do it. I trust him as much as I trust Frank Darabont. So this one is very divisive. People seem to really either like or hate. And so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. This is 2026's Undertone, directed by Ian Tuason, Tuason. 2 horror podcasters receive a bunch of haunted audio files, and things go great. Okay, so what do we think? Was this the first? I saw this movie in the theater. How about you guys?
You raved and told us all to see it, and we didn't, I think.
Okay.
That's exactly what happened.
I want to start with Chelsea, if that's okay. Because I feel like I feel like I have a guess about your feelings about this movie.
Okay, so I missed this when it was in theaters. I was out of town. And so I watched it with a friend who's also a director. Lights out, volume up, followed your instructions, because you and many others have said that. And while I found things in this to be very creepy, like when I was watching the movie, there was a room, there were some doors open down the hallway, and I thought, I need to close, and they were all dark. I'm like, I need to go close those doors. Because it creates this great suspense throughout it. Oh, y'all. Okay. So people love this movie. I know a lot of people love this movie, especially my friends who do podcasts. Love it, love it, love it. I think it is a fantastic short film. I really, this is a me thing. This is not the movie thing. I'm very tired of let's rotate the camera very slowly all around the room and then do it again and again. And never really give you a scare. And again and again and again. Okay, let's go back to this stairway. And I have a lot of I take a lot of issues with let's make this protagonist pregnant when she doesn't need to be. Spoiler alert.
Mhm.
I cannot stand that. And this is me being a super bitch, especially when men do it. So when that happened, I was like, no, no, God, no. Why have you done this to me? And
you don't think that's important to the overall story, though, because the whole story is in part about the terror of pregnancy, parenthood, all of that.
I didn't buy it. It wasn't earned. And I think you could completely remove it and still have the movie. I didn't think it was earned. I didn't think it paid off. I didn't think it mattered. And this is like one of the biggest access I feel like I've had. I feel like I'm getting very passionate about this. Yeah, so that's my like the things where it lost me. I thought there was enough between what we gathered from her and her mother. There was actually pieces of stop motion that this reminded me of too. But I just didn't need it. And yeah, that's enough. That's enough, I think. I don't mean to be so hard on it. This is personal me things that drive me nuts in movies. The end. I will step off soapbox.
I would, before I bring it to Pete and Keenan, though, I would like to very lightly push back on the fact that it doesn't matter that she's pregnant, only because that is a through line of the theme of the movie. And she's already experiencing being a parent of sorts to her mother, that the roles have reversed, and everything about this movie is about things in reverse. So she's already going through the pain of that, of taking care of someone that can literally not take care of themselves. The one time she leaves it alone, she falls out of bed. And then when she knows she's pregnant, we learn from Justin that maybe she had a drinking problem in the past that she sort of bats away. We see her drinking, so she's already doing something not great for the baby. And then we don't know what her choice is, but right before everything breaks apart, she makes a appointment at a women's clinic. That could be one of two things, but we don't know what it is. But it's made, she's made her decision. And so if she is suffering from psychosis or having this type of breakdown, in part because she's terrified of becoming a parent, that it's almost like she's punishing herself or falling apart because she has made that. I think that's what makes it really personal for her. But that being said, everything you're saying is completely valid. That's just where it works for me, because Pete, I believe you also had thoughts about the lead.
Well, I struggled. I didn't find I was ever able to really connect with the lead performance. I really struggled with it. I didn't find any of the sort of charisma that I need to care about this person. And when it's one of two people on screen at the same for the entire run of the film, I think that was a challenge. So I'll stand on Chelsea's soapbox that this is a me thing. I'm sure. I just didn't connect with it. I also think that I shouldn't be a target audience for this movie because I make a lot of podcasts and I couldn't with the podcasting. I don't know a podcast that is made in 5-minute chunks of two people reading Wikipedia to each other. Like there's just like that's. And then we'll just we've recorded for 5 minutes. Let's take a break and come back together tomorrow. Nobody records a podcast. Have we, the four of us, ever recorded a podcast that way? Tom, I think we should take a break. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll release it like another time. Nobody does that. I was incensed by that she's got this beautiful podcast microphone and not at all in any environment where she should be recording a podcast. Like that, it was just, I just could not get past.
You don't
that.
like the center of the house with hallways in every direction over the wooden floor. That's not where you should be doing podcasts.
Keenan, preach. Yes. So I struggled with that. Now I want to say I didn't have a problem with it has a very skinnamarink-y kind of nature to it. We were skinnamarink all up and down, and
which I know that Chelsea does very much
did not care
for.
for.
So that's right.
Did not care for.
I like that it did call it shot with the skinnamarink in a different way, because she references audio apophenia, creating meaning from random sounds. That's what happens with the negative space visually so much in this movie, which I still am, I was terrified by skinnamarink. I'm still scared of this negative stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, and I think, I mean, I watched it in the headset, and it is very unsettling in complete isolationist space. I had the headphones on, and I couldn't see anything in the environment, and it is very engrossing visually. I did not have any problems with it there. I found like the practical stuff of the substance of this movie. If you're gonna make a movie about podcasting, God damn it, make a movie about podcasting. This was not that movie, and for me, I just wanted to give notes.
Well, the original title of the movie was called Pro Tools.
Do you know, though, the whole time I'm thinking, like, there are some fantastic, when we were in lockdown, right, during the pandemic, there are some really great stories about what the lengths people went to record podcasts in their house that included sitting on the floor in the bottom of a coat closet, that included sitting in the bottom bunk of their children's bunk beds with blankets surrounding to deaden the sound. Like, their environments are deeply horrifying and equally accessible in this house. And they chose to do it in a place that is stupid.
Keenan, have you given your overall thoughts about?
No.
I gave Keenan's. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, my real axe to grind is how much these podcast hosts sound like me. And like having that reflected back to me was the real horror. I'd be like, that is what I do, I suppose. Yes. Yeah, that is how I sound when I listen back to myself. Yeah. But no, I think it really worked on me. I think the opening made me trust the film, and then through a lot of the stuff that, even though intellectually I was tracking what Chelsea is saying of like, this is the same shot and none of it is actually meaning anything, I went along with it. And I think, I mean, none of us yet have mentioned how successful I think the sound design of the movie is. If that's just that's just stellar stuff. That when we're going into negative space and half the frame is not just falling off into darkness, but maybe even like not well designed or what have you, like the sound kept bringing it back to me. And I'm sure I'm with Pete. I mean, when they said they're making, my friend said we should go see this movie about podcasting, I'm like, that sounds terribly uncinematic. Even if it's a horror movie. And I still think that's right. It's like there are horror movies about people writing books, or it's the same thing, writing a play and it's a horror movie, same thing. It's inherently uncinematic, and so now we know. No, they don't have to make any more podcasting movies.
I couldn't help but think of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, which for my money is the movie that makes research super sexy. And I think both of them, the original and the remake, make research terrifying and sexy. And this was not it. Like, this didn't even strive to make it sexy. And I think for it to be scary, it needs to be a little sexy. We need to have some more unraveling, uncovering of the stuff. And I feel like if they were either recording a podcast or she was dealing with her personal stuff, and neither the twain shall meet. And I think the movie is less for it.
I like the idea of sexy investigation. That's why I always get so aroused with All the President's Men. I tripped over my own words because I had too many things to say.
But I think Pete is right. I mean, like, to sort of defend any movie and be like, it's impossible to make this cinematic. I mean, she's in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. She's getting a cup of coffee from the vending machine, and you are on the edge of your seat.
I think piggybacking off of what Pete said, I think, and also it's because of who the lead character is, and it's like who she is, and you connect with her. I cared more about Justin than I did about Evie, and we never see that guy, and we only hear his voice. That is a problem. And again, the sound design, one of my favorite parts of that, since you brought that up, was I love the nursery rhyme stuff. That was great. And for me, that and her being the caretaker to her mother as the roles reversed, that was enough that I didn't need the pregnancy stuff. I was like, oh yeah, I see it. Reversing this, that's what her role is now. And that was enough for me. Then it all got undone.
And with the couple on the recordings being expected.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Pete?
And the fact that the mother-daughter relationship stuff. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Relic, and I think that
Oh,
movie
yeah.
just nailed that relationship stuff between adults, and I wanted that kind of feeling in this movie, and I think because I had so much of that in my head, this never quite reached that
Mhm.
place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a huge swing, and I don't. You're absolutely right. I don't want to undercut the incredible production design and sound design. Like
Mhm.
it is
Yeah.
very effective and a huge swing.
Mhm.
And so this this movie has some stuff seriously going for it. I
Mhm.
feel like I'm in the way of some of it.
Maybe one of the reasons that I like it so much is it's very akin to Ghost Watch, which we've also done.
Which I
on
know,
this
you're
podcast.
right.
The idea of using modern media to break reality and bring a supernatural force
Mhm.
into the
Yeah.
world and unleash it.
Yes.
And I like how this movie slowly breaks reality. I mean,
Yeah.
with the 10th recording,
Mhm.
is Jessa actually talking to Evie? She's
Mhm.
listening. I have to warn her. Like, that's broken.
Yeah.
I think that the movie maybe tackles a little bit too much. Like, it has a little bit too many strands with all of the Abazu and all of the different
Oh, yeah.
people, and then the callers in and stuff. But that last 20 minutes are,
Mhm.
I think, some of the most terrifying and thrilling moments I've seen in a horror movie in a really long time.
Mm.
There's a chance I like this movie because of that, because I know it's all going to lead to the coolest haunted house that I've ever
Uh-huh.
wanted to go to.
Yeah.
Can I show you some stuff real quick?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go to number one. I read the Bible, so you guys didn't have to. Undertone number one. This is actually Mark 5, 38 and
Mhm.
39. This is the story of
Mhm.
Jesus going to a synagogue.
Mhm.
The leader of the synagogue's daughter has died. And the quote is, Jesus saw a commotion with people crying and wailing loudly. He went in and said to them, why do you make tumult and weep? The child is not dead, but asleep. And then
Mhm.
he raises the young girl from the dead. Why pick that other than the fact of, children in peril, going back to the beginning of stories. If you go to Undertone 2, I'm an enormous fan of all of the constant mirror imagery,
Oh, yeah.
because what is a mirror? And of course, also with whatchamacallit, Oculus, it's reality in reverse. That this movie is constantly toying with the idea of everything is flipped and reversed, not just mixed up, but reversed. Let's see. The image I can't get out of my head, and it's so simple, and I couldn't figure out why it struck me so much in the theater, and it does still to this day. If you can go to Undertone 3, please. It's when the haunted house starts,
Oh.
and just that, the
Yeah.
table is gone, and the chairs are on the ceiling. I
Yeah.
think I have a guess of why it hit me so hard is because she doesn't acknowledge it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She walks in
Mhm.
and goes to, if you go to Undertone 4, she doesn't notice all the stuff in the sink.
Mhm.
She doesn't, I mean,
Mhm.
she doesn't notice anything but that the sink is on. She's not hearing the screaming kettle. The
Mhm.
only thing she's hearing is the sink, and we know that babies are drowned in sinks. That's the
Mhm.
only thing that she can hear in this world, because her entire reality has been broken down. Like, I wonder what it looks like through her eyes. My guess is all the cabinets are shut, and she's
Mhm.
just like, oh, this dumb sink is on. That's what really, and this is one of the first times in Waking, other than the
Mhm.
hall light and the figurine moving locations, that
Mhm.
she's seen an anomaly versus
Mhm.
us in the mirror. It's always in the background. It's always for us. There's
Right.
anomalies in front of her, and she can't even see it because she is broken.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
there's several shots in the movie that you swear are not in a mirror. I don't know how to say it otherwise. You swear
Yeah.
you're in the room, the camera's in the room with her, and then we pan over and reveal that we've been in the mirror the entire time.
Mhm.
That happens like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times, and I could see Chelsea, someone saying, like, oh, that's repetitive, etc. But every time that happened, that was very effective to me. Of like, ooh, I was
It's
being lied
destabilizing.
to. It was destabilizing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there were a couple shots like that I wanted just to return to and just see, like, did I understand what was happening. And one of them, there might be many, many more, is a little bit before the sequence you were talking about, where she goes upstairs and the upstairs bathroom door is open. You know, she's talking to her mother, the mother's sleeping, and she turns it back, and as she shuts the door, the mother sits up in bed, but the mother is, you know, way in the background, out of focus. And when you're watching it just all the way through, you're like, I don't know if I really saw what I think I saw. Right? It's not like Michael Myers, you know, we're like, oh, I definitely saw that, and she definitely did not see that. Like,
Right.
we're more in the transom of that. We're like, I don't know if I could trust myself.
It's very like the movie Lights Out in that that you just get little flickers, and the physics don't work, because you'll see, like in that one that we showed in Undertone 2, mother is standing up, but then that whole shot continues and she hasn't moved. She's for such an active lady, she's not going anywhere. If we can finish real quick the nightmare sequence, and then I just want to ask you guys, what do you think really happened in this house? If we can go to number 5, this is the continuation of after she shuts off the sink. Look who's sitting on top of the refrigerator. It's the doll.
Oh, it's a baby doll.
It's the creepy
we keep her
doll
in
that sleeps and talks to you. Nobody cares for that. Yeah,
we got to
Oh my
keep her
God.
wrapped in plastic so she doesn't get ruined.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, wrapped in plastic, we have a lot of babies in bags. Everything falls in on itself. Let's see, what else do we have here? If you can go to Undertone 8, skipping to the very end, what do we think has happened in this house? Because that's downstairs. There's no reason for that to be downstairs. Overshadowed by the mother in the reflection, and I didn't get a shot of it, my apologies. Her bed is neatly made. Like, no one has been in that bed for a while. There is a reading of this that none of this happened, because we never see anyone else. We hear voices, we hear the nurse, we see people talking on the phone, but it's just her and her mother. When did this psychosis start? I mean, when did these things start breaking down? When was she walking around drawing dead babies on the wall? That stuff is terrifying to me, of just not knowing. And that's very Ghost Watchy. If you remember when the show starts replaying a loop from something earlier, and then the live feed cuts in and all hell has broken loose. We just weren't allowed to see it.
Right.
What do you guys think happened? Do you guys have any guesses of who sent the files?
It wasn't Abazu. Abazu.
I don't think Abazu has a AOL account. Yeah.
I sort of saw the files as similar to the Ring, of like, where did this come from? Because I think they talk about trying to figure it out, but that actually, like, I don't believe ever gets resolved. And I thought she killed her mother, and she's in maybe herself too, and she is in a purgatory, or is dealing with the grief, or is trying to process it and doesn't realize she is no longer at this plane, and it's you know, maybe her purgatory. That's like the very surface sort of thought I had, and it's either has already happened at the beginning, or something within the tapes, thinking of the Ring, has unleashed, has pushed her, because also she really wants to go to that party. She ends up leaving. She comes back. She supposedly has maybe a boyfriend, Darren. I don't know. Never see him. Doesn't matter. And you know, comes back, but he's like, oh, I'll be only gone a couple hours. Is gone. I was like, what the? You're gone 24 hours when you're the caretaker of this person? Like, yeah, probably shouldn't be a mother, but whatever. Anyways, I think it you know, when it happens is somewhere in there, and maybe she doesn't ever leave, or you know, so because we as the audience never leave. That's my 2 cents. There's a couple scenes where the camera really does can't all the way. And that whole idea starts in the very opening title. That might be a demarcation line. Maybe that the filmmaker is giving us, of like, okay, we've gone on, like, don't look at the kitchen, it's a real mess. But she can't see it. Sorry, Keenan, go ahead.
Oh yeah, when she does in the last podcast confess directly to camera, and she says, I killed my mother, which at the time we're shocked by that. And then we figure, oh, she's talking metaphorically. The mother hasn't died yet, as far as we know. But then perhaps, as Chelsea says, that's what all this is all about. Yeah,
right. Well, because we find out from one of the callers this is to backup of what Chelsea's theory could be, we find out that Jessa and Mike, Jessa and Mike were found at the bottom of the stairs, dead babies all over, drawn like this, and they had plastic bags on their heads. When we are going into the bedroom for the last time, there are 2 one-frame flashes. If you go to Undertone 6.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
That's 1. And then Undertone 7. There's a world that's the mom and Evie. It's too hard to tell, and if you go back to, like, no one has that, like, if that is just an artifact in the bag or if that's a mole, I don't know, but I'm not sure.
There's kind of
Who
a
these
mole
people
on
are, for
the,
sure. Yeah.
like it's a mirror shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting.
I live for ambiguity. I like that it ends with sound, that you hear what sounds like, she's screaming, "Mama," all the babies are crying, someone is thrown down the stairs. And then it's just Mama and Justin and babies crying. And then it's like, what was the song that plays? Oh, it's probably some horrible London bridges falling down.
Yeah, London bridges kill them all.
Yeah.
It's interesting that this movie, I mean, the parallels between this movie and The Ring are pretty special. Not the least of which is that Roy Lee is an executive producer on both of them, and I think that is, he was the guy who's credited for bringing Ringu to America, and 24 years later, he's EP on this one. I think this is an accidental double feature that works very, very well. And I think there's an interesting, the distribution mechanism is interesting here too, that we needed the VCR and the dub for The Ring to work, and here we need a podcast feed and an email address, and now distribution of horror, the friction is to 0. Like is it kind of reminds me of Smile 3, right? That sort of finale. So anyway, great.
Before we leave this film, just a shameless plug for my other show, The Devil's Detail, where we have talked about Abazu, or Lester Ryan Clark, my co-host who knows these things, has talked about Abazu, but we talked about her as Abazuth in our Testament of Solomon episode. So just to point that out there.
Outstanding. Link in the show notes.
Link in the show notes. And she might be in the Bible, depending on how you read these things, because demons used to just have names that were also common nouns that would plague people. So depending on some people's readings of it, when in Revelation it talks about the abyss, and the abyss being where the devil comes from, Abazu is the abyss. So that could be literally the demon where the devil comes out of. So she's sometimes thought of like the grandmother of the devil, or it just like, because we often name demons after just terrible things. So those could be coincidence,
like tornadoes.
Right. Like tornadoes.
Bible.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I think we got 2 winners and 1 on the fence, but that's okay.
They're all winners.
It was a great.
I hope you enjoyed the ride, though. And thank you guys so much for watching my stuff. And who's up next?
Well, it's me, Tom. It's me.
Oh my
God.
Yeah.
So I'm up next, and I'm doing this thing that I think I dropped in episode 1 of this show. So in our very first conversation, I said that zombies are my favorite monster. Do we remember? Who cares? Deep in the bag. I just feel like I don't know why. I love zombies. I'm deep in the bag for zombies. Then I went and actually looked at what we've talked about. And I mean what I've talked about on all of the Next Real Family of Film podcasts. And it's pretty much Romero and after, right? Because Romero, zombies. But you know what? Zombies are more than just appetite, it turns out. So we're going to go back in time. Okay? Because the appetite zombie has only been true for about the last 50 years, right? A zombie didn't used to eat you. It used to work. It was labor, right? Somebody else owned it and pointed it at heavy things and said, lift this, turn that. And
like
they would do it. Right. So the monster that we've been calling my favorite is a mutation of the original. And I'm excited to go back and look at the cultural history, the cinematic history of the zombie. So I've got 3 American movies about Haiti across 56 years. And we're going to start way, way back with White Zombie from 1932. Victor Halperin with Bela Lugosi as a man named Murder Legendre, who runs a sugar mill on zombie labor. And it is made while the United States was 19 years into a military occupation of Haiti, which the film does not seem eager to bring up. Anyway, then we're going to move to 1943 with the film I Walked with a Zombie, Jacques Tourneur directing for Val Lewton, which is, and I promise this is not a bit, a Jane Eyre adaptation set on, yes, a sugar plantation. It is only 69 tight minutes, and it is a beautiful bit of history from the RKO catalog. And then we're going to jump to 1988. Yes, we're still in Haiti, Wes Craven's The Serpent and the Rainbow. Because what is a show about zombies without a little male genital mutilation?
Right. Don't bury me. I'm not dead. I love it.
This movie was shot on location in Haiti also while the Duvalier regime was coming apart. And I think that is fascinating history too. So all of these are movies about colonial exploitation that are also colonial fantasies. It's very strange, and we're going to have to reckon with that. White Zombie is free, public domain. It's everywhere. I'm going to try to find a link to the best one because some of them are pretty stupid and muddy, and the rest are cheap rentals if you don't have it. Now, I don't know what to call it. I was looking at The Working Dead as a title, but Take This Job and Shovel It was in there too. So I don't know. There's a pun in there that I've been kind of brainstorming. I don't really have it locked yet, but it's going to be in that neighborhood of stupidity. Thank you. I'm excited for this series.
Excellent Pete.
Nice. All right. And thank you, Tom, for leading today.
Yeah.
My absolute
Well
pleasure.
done,
Thank you. Thank you.
Very, very good job. And make sure to check the links in the show notes for all of the stuff that we're doing on it. Do we have any specific plugs? Chelsea, you got any new movies coming out we got to check out? Are you still on tour?
Oh, yes. Still, we're about to play Fright Fest. That's coming up in the UK. So if you're there, come check out Grind.
Nice.
And we're playing at a bunch of other places. I just have to look at when I should plug them, but that's the next one.
All right, great. Keenan, if you ever are interested in going to film school, Keenan will be there teaching you film school. Definitely check out the other podcasts. There's the Everything Everywhere, Every Minute of Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Devil's Details with Keenan Diaz and Tommy Metz III. You can see with me on All the Feelings and also other podcasts, I'm sure, that we do together. The Film Board and this one. So check us out on this podcast. Thanks, everybody. On behalf of Chelsea Stardust and Keenan Diaz and Tommy Metz III, I'm Pete Wright, and we'll see you next month right here sitting in the dark. Thunderclap.